What's up? We are back for season 27. I'm really excited for this season. I really like the team I drafted, and I think it's going to go pretty well. Here's the team right here. Got the Golden Go round 1 pick. Really like this team. I definitely like my draft better than last season. Last season, I had a little difficulty early on trying to get the defensive core. Some of the pieces that I wanted got taken. So this season, didn't really feel like anything got sniped from me. There was the only thing a little bit later in the draft. I did want to grab Araquanid, but it got taken the round that I wanted it. But I ended up getting Melodic for bulky water type, so that works out well. Araquanid is a little more fun, though. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the team a little bit. Started with that Golden Go. Golden Go is my favorite Pokemon ever, and surprisingly, this is the first time I've ever drafted it in IPDL. I had it in one season in ABBA, and that season feels like a fever dream. I don't really remember much about it at all. It's basically like I never drafted it before. I really like the Garchomp paired with Golden Go. They are really nice core of two really good glue Pokemon. Both can be utilized offensively or defensively. So I really like the versatility from both of them. Of course, Garchomp can set rocks and spikes, and Golden Go is really good at keeping those on the field. Golden Go also has a really nice synergy with Garchomp in resisting everything that Garchomp is weak to. Ice Fairy and Dragon. Golden Go resists all of them. So that's super helpful. Garchomp helps with fire types from Golden Go, and it helps against knockoff spam. So like weaker knockoff spam. So it's helpful for that. It can't take like harder hitting ghost or dark type or ground type moves. It kind of just depends on the matchup. So, but yeah, the two of them are a really nice duo. I really like them. I was looking for the third pick to get something fast. Tornadus T is something that I've had on my radar for a couple seasons now. The people over on Smogon really love Tornadus T as a Terra Captain. Like they act like it's the top tier Terra Captain. And I haven't really seen anyone use it super like crazy well in IPDL. I don't know if anyone ever has made it a Terra Captain in IPDL. So I wanted to see how it goes. I think obviously having a reliable flying move with Terra Blast flying is really nice for Tornadus, but being able to change the type defensively could be good. I mean, it's a really good utility Pokemon, of course, with Regenerator is incredibly good, and it gets a lot of things like U-turn, knockoff, taunt, really good support for the team, and but it could also be a good sweeper itself, or wall breaker itself with Nasty Plot. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes. It doesn't necessarily have any like amazing synergies with Golden Go or Garchomp, but having the support is nice, and versatility to be offensive as well as the speed. That is the main reason I was looking for it. Something similar, at least, in role to Tornadus was speed, since I've got Golden Go or Garchomp in that first two picks. After that, I didn't originally plan to get Glamora on round 4. I was looking at a few other things. Greninja was on my radar, and I ended up getting that round 5. Honestly, part of the reason I got Greninja round 5 is just at round 5, that's like crazy value that Greninja was still available. So I just had to grab it, and it had good synergy with my team. Again, it can set hazards as well, which is good since I've got that Golden Go. And Glamora and Greninja both take a little pressure off of the Garchomp if I want to set hazards with them. Garchomp could potentially do something more offensive, and those guys can be the hazard setters, or they can be offensive as well. Glamora, I think the main reason I went for Glamora rather than something else at this stage was for hazard removal. There's a lot of lower tier stuff that was available. Like I ended up getting Sarina as well as an additional hazard remover. And there was some other low tier stuff. There's still some in the pools too that are decent, like Cyclozar, which I had last season, didn't get drafted in League One, if I recall correctly. And I think it's a good budget hazard removal if you fit it in. If you can fit it into your team, I think it's pretty good. But I wanted to get something a little higher tier, just to have something that's a little more powerful that I can utilize as a hazard control. So I like Glamora. Obviously, Glamora pairs really well with Golden Go. Glamora can get 3 different types of hazards up on the field, and Golden Go, of course, keeps them around for a long time very well. I think I really like the offensive potential of Glamora as well. Things like Meteor Beam with the Power Herb, agility sets. I really like the potential with Glamora to be able to be like a very aggressive wall breaker and hazard setter. And I really like it with the team. The hazard removal was really the main thing that made me choose to stick with it on that round. And then getting Greninja around 5 is just crazy good. I like in these first few rounds, the offensive power is really good. Like Golden Go on special attack, Glamora on special attack, and then Garchomp on attack. So I had really powerful attackers, but all 4 of these really also do really good utility roles in the team as well. So it gave me a lot of freedom for the back half of the draft to be able to draft and not be kind of stuck in needing to fill roles necessarily. I filled some roles here and there, but I could get things that were going to be a little more just impactful, a little more powerful and valuable, rather than trying to just fill in a role. So I really like that first 5 of the draft. Really, really liked it. Went with Iron Hands on the next round. Again, gives me another really powerful attacker. And I really like Iron Hands, give me that fighting type to be able to take dark types that are going to be targeting Golden Go. So that's really good. Physically defensive, switch in for those. Of course, I could go with like an assault vest on it too. Then it can take those hits, especially on the special side as well. Iron Hands, I really like. I've never drafted it either. Like some of these Pokemon. So far, I think Garchomp is the only one that I've mentioned so far that I've drafted before. I've drafted it twice. Golden Go, Tornadus, Glamora. I might have got Glamora before. I've not had Greninja or Iron Hands, so a lot of new stuff for me. I really have been wanting to try Iron Hands. It looks really cool. I do actually really like his Zatara Captain, but I had already had the plans for Tornadus. So yeah, went with the Tornadus on the Captain plan. But Iron Hands, I really, really like the insane bulk it has and the insane attack it has. Like you could go offensive or defensive with it, and it's not going to be losing momentum because even without any investment into attack, it's still going to be hitting hard with its stab moves. So I really like it. I think it's going to fit well in this team. Next up, I went with Sylveon. Definitely looking to get a fairy at some point here. And I like Sylveon over some of the other fairies with the way I have got the team so far. There was obviously stuff like Tinkaton and Pheasantipede around by this stage. Maybe Pheasantipede got taken this round. I don't recall exactly. But there were some other fairies. Diancie went undrafted again. Of course, I had that last season. It was very, very good for me. But I wanted something this season that's going to be able to hit a bit harder. Of course, Sylveon's only a little bit higher on the base special attack than Diancie. Diancie's, I think, 100. Sylveon's 110. But Hyper Voice with Pixelate is very good. And Sylveon has some nice ways to boost its stats with Calm Mind. Choice Specs is a really solid option for Sylveon as well. So yeah, I like the Sylveon because of the offensive power it can provide. I think I have a lot of glue Pokemon, a lot of things that have good utility options in this top half of the draft. So I wanted, the back half to really pick things that are going to be possible really tough wall breakers or sweepers for my opponent to handle, and things that are going to be able to just sponge attacks. Because in these top few, they're not really sponging attacks. So Goldengo, Garchomp, and Tornadus, they're all really kind of more glue Pokemon. They can run bulky sets, and of course, like a physically bulky Garchomp or Goldengo, those are pretty common. Tornadus can run stuff like Assault Vest, or even bulk up sets. They're going to be able to run good bulky sets, but they're not just sponging everything like some things are. Like Sylveon is going to be able to sponge special attacks at base 130 special defense, which is insane. So that was kind of what I was looking for, as well as like Iron Hands with the HP and defense being so high. So those guys can really take those hits super easily, even neutral hits. They don't have to resist them. So that's why I really like Sylveon for the spot. Offensive power plus being able to sponge special attacks really well. Sarina up next. I went with it. I wanted to get another special or hazard remover. Sorry. And I didn't really like some of the other options, like the later options that were available. I think Mandibuzz was still available at this point. I didn't want Mandibuzz. I've had it 2 seasons in a row, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. Honestly, my team does have a bit of a weakness to Ghost, but I'm really didn't want to draft Mandibuzz again. I'm kind of getting like tired of it being too passive and weak. It gets stuff like U-Turn, Toxic Whirlwind. Those are nice, but it's I don't know. There were a lot of situations where I just didn't use Mandibuzz last season because it just felt too slow, too weak. Didn't really match the play style that I like to use. So I think Sarina fits that a lot better. It's got a really nice attack stat of 120, so it's going to be hitting hard as long as its moves are neutral or super effective. That's going to be hitting real hard. And it gets some good other utility too, like knockoff, U-turn, and those are able to do decent damage. So yeah, I really like the Sarina. I also really like the Sarina. I needed a grass type at this point, so it helps out with ground type opponents. I was definitely having a bit of a weakness to ground. Goldengo weak to it, Gilmora and Iron Hands both weak to it, so I needed something here to help out with ground type. So Sarina does a good job there. Of course, Tornadus is immune before Terra, but yeah, Sarina helps there. Blaziken up next, man. I love Blaziken. I'm happy to get it here on this round. What is that, round 8 or 9? Yeah, round 9. I think that's a really nice round to get Blaziken on. Really valuable. I've talked about it previously. I really like it. Its speed boost is really nice to be able to snowball and sweep teams. But I also really like it just as a wall breaker, being able to use Swords Dance or just straight up attacking with Flare Blitz and Close Combat. Those super high base power moves hit insanely hard, and there's a lot of there's very few Pokemon that can take both. Even like neutral hits, stuff like Zapdos, it's neutral to it, so it's a 2-hit KO with Flare Blitz, with an Adamant Life or Blaziken. So Blaziken really fits that playstyle that I like, to be aggressive with it, but also have the option to utilize it later on as like a win condition with speed boost. Melodic up in the round 10 pick. Melodic, similar to Sylveon and Iron Hands, kind of just a blanket check to stuff. Its special defense is so high, it's able to just sponge a lot of special attacks. Its defense is, defense and HP pool are good too, but that special defense especially, it can just sponge attacks. So I really like it as a bulky water type. It's not too passive. It's got flip turn. It's got a nice special attack stat too as well to do damage with stuff like Scald and Ice Beam. So it's not going to be too passive. I don't know. I'm probably going to be using it mostly as a pivot. I don't know how much I'll be using it like for other things like Whirlpool is some cool tech. Mirror Code is cool tech. Stuff like that I think could be really cool when it works well in the matchup. So definitely like Melodic as an option. As I mentioned before, I wanted Araquanid as my bulky water type, mainly to help with the weakness to ground that I had, because it being a resistance to ground really helps there. And Water Bubble is one of the most OP abilities in the game. Araquanid is really cool. And I really like the fun stuff you can do with Araquanid with like Custat Berry, getting up webs, or using like Endure, Endeavor, stuff like that. So I was really hoping to get it, but it got taken. I think Melodic's fine too. Does give me that just especially defensive sponge to help out on the defensive side with my team. In the round 11 spot, we've got Lycanroc Dusk. So I grabbed Lycanroc Dusk last season. I think it's a much better fit on this team. Not really typing wise, because I do already have Glamora as a rock type. Last season, I did double up a type with Lycanroc and Arcanine. And I felt like there was too much overlap there, and Lycanroc didn't really help defensively at all. Whereas Arcanine at least has moderate bulk. It can, if it resists moves or whatever, it can be used defensively. Lycanroc, even on a resisted hit, it's taken a lot of damage. So I think it fits a lot better on this team because those first several Pokemon are very versatile glue Pokemon. I've got Golding, Garchomp, Tornadus, very versatile. Even Greninja, Iron Hands, they're very versatile as well. Greninja's obviously not going to do anything defensively, but offensively, it's got a lot of options. Of course, Protein lets it be a really good attacker on the physical or special side. And it's kind of tough to predict. So I think because of all the versatility in the earlier picks in this draft, Lycanroc works a lot better as a wall breaker for me. I kind of wanted something that's gonna be difficult for my opponents to team build for, basically. Blaziken kind of does the same thing. It's really difficult to team build for it if you don't have something that resists both its stab moves, and with Lycanroc resisting rock and also the close combat, which is pretty common for it. So yeah, I really like both of those as a low tier wall breaker or sweeper cleanup. And Lycanroc gives me a much needed speed tier. I did have some difficulty with that last season after I traded it away. This season, hopefully I'll be keeping it around. I think I will. I definitely like it on this team. I think it fits in really well, but gives me that 110 speed tier that I needed. And then in the last slot, I picked up Uxie. So I'm not 100% sold on Uxie. I don't really know exactly how well it's going to mesh with the rest of this team. So I really wanted to use Uxie. Like the past several seasons, it's another one that I've been really wanting to use for a while. So I grabbed it here. It gives me a lot of utility options. I don't know if maybe I would have been better off going for something more offensive here in this spot, but I wanted to try Uxie out. So we'll see how it goes. One of the things that made me okay with grabbing it on this team, of course, I didn't have a psychic type. I don't think a psychic type's super important to every team, but it helps for sure. So it fits that psychic role that I was missing. And it's also levitate, so helps out against ground types that are going to be threatening to me. I still have a lot of things weak to ground, but I think my team's pretty offensively oriented, so I don't know if ground types are going to be coming in for free. But of course, they do threaten out a lot of my Pokemon. So I think Uxie can help there. The downside of Uxie with this team is mainly the added weaknesses it shares with Golden Go. Both weak to Ghost and Dark, which I think I'm okay against Dark types. I've got a lot of resistances. Greninja's kind of a fake resistance, but Iron Hands, Sylveon, Blaziken's probably a fake resistance too. But Iron Hands and Sylveon are both very bulky, and so they could take Dark types pretty easily. But the Ghost types are kind of tough for me to handle. My only resistance is Greninja, which again, it's a fake switch into Ghost types. It resists it, yeah, but it's so frail, it doesn't really count. I don't have a normal type, and I don't have a bulky Dark type. And honestly, I think at this point in the draft, Mandibuzz was available. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, Luca traded for the Mandibuzz in the free draft or the free trade period after the draft happened. But and Mandibuzz also gives me an immunity to ground, but I really didn't want Mandibuzz again. I didn't want it that badly. Like, I would rather give myself another weakness to Ghost and go with Uxie. So we'll see how it goes with Uxie. I considered somewhat, like, I did consider Azelf to give me that immunity to ground as well, but give me an offensive threat with it. It's fast and hits hard, so maybe that's something I'll keep in mind. I don't know. I'm going to try to find places to bring Uxie in, and hopefully I can find a niche for it. I really like it as a bulky psychic type. I mean, base 130 on defense and special defense is crazy. It's a little low on the HP side, but the defense and special defense stats are really high. So it's able to just sponge a lot of attacks as long as they're not super effective, and has a lot of utility options with hazards, pivoting, stuff like Encore, Yawn, cassette screens. A nice speed tier too. At base 95 is pretty nice for like a bulky utility Pokemon like that. So hopefully I can find ways to allow it to support my team. Well, that is my team. I'm really happy with it. There's a few weaknesses. Of course, it's not perfect, but a couple of things that I may struggle with, as I mentioned before, bit of a weakness to Ghost. My only resistance being Greninja. The benefit is I only have 2 weak to Ghost, is Golden Go and Uxie. So, I could utilize Tornadus, Terra Dark or Terra Normal on it maybe if I really need to, but I don't know. I think against the Ghost types, I think I'm okay to just utilize my really bulky Pokemon like Iron Hand, Sylveon, Melodic, and just sponge the hits just because they're that fat of Pokemon. And I mean, they're going to be hitting pretty hard back, so I'm not too worried about it. I looked at like some of the top tier Ghost Pokemon specifically. I don't know how my team matches up. Like Dragapult, of course, is the main one, but I think my team's pretty good. Like Sylveon looks pretty nice against Dragapult. Of course, like offensive stuff with a Scarf like Greninja or Golden Go, whatever, can with a Scarf they can outspeed and hit it super effectively. So I think the team is still okay without a bulky Dark type that I didn't really want, like Mandibuzz. There's some other things in the pool that I think could, like, if I'm really not happy with Uxie and I'm okay with being a little bit weaker to ground, there's some other things in the pool that I'd be okay with getting, like to help with Dark or to help with Ghost types, like Scrafty. Honestly, looks kind of fun. Unironically looks kind of cool. Like, it's got a really nice solid bulk and could be a really nice like bulky attacker to switch into those Ghost types. Cyclizar, of course, I had that last season. That could be helpful. It doesn't help against Dragapult, but some of the other Ghost types it's helpful against since it's immune to Ghost. I'm forgetting, there was a couple others like I can't recall what else was in the pool, but there's some others that I'd be okay with getting, but I want to try Yuxi out. I've never used it, and looks pretty fun. So yeah, that's really the main weakness I've seen. I mean, I also have a lot weak to ground, but I think offensively I have good matchups on ground, so not too worried. I have a couple of immunities, Sarina resist, so I think I'll be okay there. Yeah, I really like this team. I think it's nice, a nice balance of something I struggled with 2 seasons ago was not having a good balance of attackers and special attackers. Oh, Jesus. So I think this team definitely does a better job of that. I've got a good split of both. Good defensive sponges. I've got good fast Pokemon. Something last season I struggled with was Iron Valley. It was my only thing that was fast at all, really. And I'm not counting Cyclizar because it's not going to be hitting for anything. But this season I've got Greninja and Tornadus, which are both very fast. So I really like that to help out, make things a lot easier in the speed department. So yeah, I really like it. I've got a lot of options for moves. I don't have a ton of recovery. That's really the only thing that I'm low on in terms of moves. A lot of hazard setters, hazard removers look good. Plenty of U-turn, and I've got some flip turn full switch too. In terms of recovery, yeah, the only like real reliable recovery is Goldigo, Melodic, and Sarina. Of course, Wish on Sylveon helps too, but I think that's going to be okay. Of course, Tornadus is a regenerator, so it does get reliable healing that way. I think my play style works okay with this, though. I generally play pretty aggressively, so I think not having a ton of Pokemon with Recover Roost is not going to really hurt me too badly. I like, a lot of utility stuff, a lot of status, coupled with Yawn, which is kind of nice. It's a little hard to find. Encore on Yuxi is really nice. Encore is pretty rare. So yeah, I think I've got a pretty nice team, and really looking forward to using it this season. I definitely like it better than last season. I think last season was kind of lopsided in terms of offensive power, from some things like Iron Valley. It's obviously insanely strong, and then Lando and Excalibur are insanely strong offensive threats, but I think I didn't really have the utility and the defensive core last season that I really needed. I ended up finding that towards the back half of the season with Diancie, Sinistcha, and Rotom. But this season, I think it's a little more obvious. Goldigo, Garchomp, Tornadus form a really nice offensive core, and then I've got offensive and defense, or real defense, of course. Sorry, Goldigo, Garchomp, Tornadus form a really nice defensive core with those first 3 picks. So that's really nice, and then plenty of bulky stuff like Iron Hand, Sylveon, and Melodic, and Yuxi to fill in the gaps as needed, and plenty of offensive threats as well, I think. So yeah, overall I think it's really balanced, and definitely fits my playstyle well. I look forward to using it this season. I will see you guys in a week when we battle Artski in week 1. Stay tuned for that. See you then.